think it's time for Too Many Games. Waiting to watch the CU podcast. Too many games. Getting too many games.
Sonic was your first beer behind the water tower.
You think so? Your first pull on the cigarette?
Yes, exactly.
Or you started massively coughing, which would probably be the 32X, I think.
What's going on, guys? I hope you enjoyed my brief synopsis of the show floor at Too Many Games and some of the other things we did. I didn't get as much footage of the actual event as I did last year, so I'm going to link to one of my buddy's videos who was down there with us, and if you want to go ahead and check out that video, which I'm part of, and he's got a lot more footage of the show floor and what we did while we were there, and then, he does his own pickup at the end of it also, so if you want to check that out, you can click the link up here. So as for me, I'm just going to go ahead and show you some of the stuff that I picked up. I spent a little under $100. I think I spent like about $96 this year. So I think I spent about the same as last year, maybe a little bit less. I have to go back and take a look at the video from last year. But for some reason, I don't know what it was, I found there to be a lot of good deals this year compared to last year. One of the big things I look for when I go to conventions like this, and what if any of you are trying to get into game collecting, what I would say is to definitely wait to the last day of the convention. That's when everybody wants to offload the stuff, so they don't got to pack it up home. Obviously they'd rather bring money back with them. But just look for, $1, $2 bins. I can't count how many guys selling NES games that had boxes that just said like, 4 for $10 or, $2 each, even $1 each. I would say, even if it's not a game that you think you're going to play immediately, or a game that you may not think is very good, but if you find five games for $1, so you spend $5 on 5 games, and you do that maybe 3 or 4 times, maybe over a couple months, or maybe even just at the convention, that will quickly add up on the shelf. And once you have a lot of stuff on the shelf and a lot of stuff to look at, you sort of get like this sense of completion and success that you've actually been able to really grow your collection. And the same thing can translate to anime. You know, the more that you are able to pick up, especially at a cheap and affordable price, you know, the more enjoyment that you're going to get out of it. So that being said, I did pick up, 10 NES games, and you know, a lot of these games, they're not really special. They're not really highly rated, valuable games. You know, they're only worth $5, between $2 and $5. But if I spent $1 or $2 on it, in my mind, that's more than worth it. But we'll start with the most expensive, probably the coolest thing that I did get, and that is the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time complete in box, and it even came with case protector. Obviously, I already owned Ocarina of Time, but I did not have it boxed, and this box is in really, really nice condition. I was more than happy to pay what the guy wanted, which he had a sticker on it for $50, which is still a decent price for it. It's probably worth about $60 to $65 in the condition that it's in, but I got him down to $40 on the last day. You know, he was getting rid of everything he had, so I spent $40 on a complete in box Ocarina of Time. I sold Ocarina of Time already for $20, so I spent $20 on the box for Ocarina of Time, which is, in my mind, a great deal. I'm more than happy to put this up next to the Majora's Mask box that I already have, so that completes my N64 Zelda box collection. So one of the other things I got, which is really cool in the box, this is a green VMU for the Dreamcast. And if you're not familiar with, the Dreamcast, this is just a memory unit, really, like a memory card. But the reason I got this, you may be wondering, is because I do have a green Dreamcast, if any of you have seen my game collection video, and I really wanted to just get a green VMU to put up next to it. And the fact that it was boxed and brand new for $3, it's like, come on, why would you not? And then the final thing that I got boxed, which is really cool, from the same guy that I bought Ocarina of Time from, is a Genesis controller, complete in the box, brand new. It's still got the plastic bag around the controller. I took it out. It's never been played, and this was $5. So I have a big soft spot for Sega, and I have a lot of Sega stuff in the box. I have a multi-tap, I have an AV cable, I have the 32X, I have a Genesis. So to have a Genesis controller complete in box is really cool too. So moving along, the rest of the stuff are NES games. Like I said, I just, for whatever reason, I saw cheap NES games and I wanted to pick them up. So we'll go in somewhat of an order. So the first thing I got here is To the Earth. Costs $3. It's like a $3 game, but you know what? Puts on the shelf. I'm getting close to 150, so that's what I'm going for at the moment. So the next. Let me put these in somewhat of an order. So these next these next 6 games, the guy had a sign out, and it was 4 for $10. And I picked up 6, and I said to the guy, what's the best you can do on 6? And he said 13. So I was more than willing to pay $13 for 6 NES games, and one of these is actually worth about $10. So right there, that makes the whole thing more than worth it. So we got Pro Wrestling on the NES, black box, 5-screw, cool. I have Stealth here with the manual. Anytime you find an NES game with a manual, I would say get it. I mean, these games are over 20 years old, and to find them with a manual is really cool, and it's just, a little added, bonus to having games on your shelf. Cartridge games, nonetheless, with manuals. Really cool. 10-Yard Fight, also 5-screw, black box. Pinball Quest. This was the more expensive of these games. I'm actually probably going to try and play this one. I'm a big fan of pinball, so this should be pretty cool. This isn't the one in the worst condition. This is Dino Wars. It has a little bit of label damage on it, but, $2. Well, come on, $2. And finally, from this guy, I picked up a Steinex. I'm familiar with this game. I thought I had it, which I didn't, so I'm kind of glad that I picked it up, because it is nice to get games that you're more familiar with. Definitely a great way to start out is picking up games that you're familiar with. So the next guy, I got these 2 games for $5 each. I had a whole stack. Sometimes you'll find people that will have boxes with every game has a price on it, or they have an idea of how much they want for everything. This guy had a huge tub on the ground with probably about 100 NES games in there, and a lot of good games. $20, $30, $50 games in this box. Nothing have price tags on it. So I'm thinking maybe if I get a big stack of games and this guy looks at him and he just pulls prices from his head, maybe he's like $50 for all of them, and I get away with a $20 or $30 game in there. That would be really cool. But instead, I picked up about 10 games, and I asked the guy, and he handed it off to one of his, somebody else running the booth, who sat there with his phone and looked up every single price of the game, and then gave me a price for the entire thing, which I was not about. So I just picked up these 2 for $5 each, and the reason I did is because they both come with the books, and that is Milon's Secret Castle and Hogan's Alley, another black box game. Unfortunately, not Five Screw. But they both come with a manual. So for $5 each, it's more than happy to buy anything with a manual in it. Just to add stuff with manuals. And probably one of my I don't want to say best pickups, but one thing I'm really excited to actually get my hands on and play is the third Castlevania game for the NES. This is Castlevania 3, Dracula's Curse. And I paid $18 for this. This guy originally said 20. I was like, can you do 15? He was like 18. I was like, sure. It's about 25, between 25 and $30 game, depending upon what day of the week, what time of the month, where the moon aligns with the sun. I really don't care. Just to be able to buy it in person as to buying it on eBay was really cool. But this was the last Castlevania game I needed on the NES, so I'm really happy to finish that out. And I think I'm only missing one or two must-have Castlevania games. Symphony of the Night, of course, and Castlevania on the Super Nintendo. Are the last two that I need, but Castlevania is one of the best gaming franchises out there, and I highly recommend playing any of the Castlevania games if you haven't before. But there you go. That's the games I got this year at Too Many Games. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys enjoy what I do. If this is the first video that you've watched on my channel for whatever reason, and you want to see other video game related videos every 2 months, 3 months, I don't know. But you're a bigger fan of anime, then you should check out my other videos because that's mainly what I do. But I did want to shoot a little pickup video since going to Too Many Games is probably one of my favorite things to do and to film the show floor and to show a lot of you guys who don't maybe have the opportunity to go to a convention. Maybe there isn't one near you, 5-6 hours out of the way, and that's just not, possible for you to do. I'd like to give a little bit of an insight. Maybe some people just don't want to go. Maybe they can't bring themselves to go. Maybe a video like this can help you decide, if that's something that you really want to do. I hope that this helps. But until next time, guys, my name's Fanini's Breezy, and I'll see you next time.